Okay, Google, all lights on.
Sure, turning 27 lights on.
Good morning. It's travel day. It's 3 a.m. Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020. Coronavirus has had the world on lockdown and my girlfriend lives in Paris and I live here in the States in Pittsburgh, and we haven't been able to see each other for 3 months. And so Italy started to open its borders. It's going to open its borders on the 3rd, tomorrow, to other Europeans. And although I'm not European, I'm going to give it a shot. I was able to get a ticket on Alitalia to go from JFK, Charles de Gaulle, Rome, and I'm going to try to get in and spend some time. Worst case scenario is it's just another adventure, and travel's all about adventure. So let's see how this goes.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks. Bye. All right, so Air France rejected me. Bought a ticket to Dublin. Heading to try to get on to a plane to Dublin. See if Aer Lingus will let me on. They have a little bit more laxed international travel rules there. So.
I am in JFK, flew in through Pittsburgh. I was supposed to go to Charles de Gaulle and then to Rome. I had my ticket booked online. Waited at the airport an ungodly amount of time. Ticket counter, Air France. Since I have an American passport, I needed to prove that I had residency or a home in Italy or a wife in Italy, which I don't have either. So they won't ticket me. So they furlough the ticket and you can rebook it anytime. I want to get to Europe, and so I went to the Terminal 5, Aer Lingus, booked a ticket to Dublin on my phone, and straight to the ticket counter, boom, ticketed through security, waiting for my flight in a couple of hours. I'll be in Dublin at 4 a.m. It's where there's a will, there's a way, right?
And I got to see your passport picture. So make sure you are you. And you are you. Thank you so much. Have a great flight tonight.
Look at it.
very Irish if you think about it. They make Kerrygold butter, they have a good dairy tradition. So, milk and a stick. It's not even for coffee. It's just milk and a stick. And I have poor man's first class. I'm gonna take those 4 seats as soon as I get this tray out of the way, lay down. It's not too bad of a plane. We have okay Wi-Fi. So far, so good. The food was fine. The girls are nice. There's a little bit of different protocol for COVID. One being they drop, instead of giving you snacks in a water by hand, they drop it off to you in a pre-prepared bag, which is actually kind of nice because you can then use the bag as a garbage bag, which you kind of need on the plane anyway. Okay, time to go to sleep. Really great 3-hour nap. Never get 3 hours. Getting very close to land. Getting 3 hours of sleep on the way there is a great start to making it feel like you woke up there. Gotta fill out this paper. Gotta find a pen and fill it out. That's what we need to enter. Made it to the hotel, barely got in. They are not open at all here. I mean, it's closed as closed can be. It's closed more than it is the US here in Ireland, even though all of the articles that you read online kind of make you feel like it's more open than anything in Europe. It's not. It's closed. It's extremely closed compared to the United States for sure. Nothing's open at all. They don't want you coming in the border. The first girl who took my documents, she said no. She said, you realize you're mad. You're exposing people to danger. She brought a manager over. I had to agree to self-quarantine, agree to how much money do you have, what do you do, everything. I don't know why they even let me in, honestly, because that's how sort of closed off it is. But they did. After getting through it, I realized there's no way that my girlfriend's going to get in here because it's just to see each other. It's not essential. But still, we're willing to try. Came to the hotel that I booked on Hotels.com here in Dublin. And they said, where are your essential worker papers? I don't have that. I said, I don't have essential worker papers, but they let me into the country, so clearly I'm allowed to be here. No, I'm sorry, I got to turn those in every night, or whatever, every day, to prove that the people that are staying at my hotel are essential workers if they're from outside the country. So I'm working on an Airbnb. My girlfriend goes to Rome, which she's from Italy, from France, but she goes to school in France and her parents live in France. We both realize this is a really bad idea. It's not going to work. She's probably not going to get in. And it's going to be almost impossible for me to find a place to stay, although an Airbnb will do, but it's still, you just don't feel welcome here. Everything's closed. You're not welcome here. It's just the bottom line. Not, and for a bad reason. There's a pandemic. And she's trying to leave Italy now, and they won't even let her back into France. So she's got to stay in Italy until the 15th. It's a total disaster. So now she's stuck there. I'm going to try to get a ticket back to the U.S. I'm going back to the airport. I just got here an hour ago. I'm going back to the airport to try to get a ticket back to the U.S. and see how that goes.
All right. Changed the ticket. Here back at the airport. We've got, yeah, so it's I've got a flight back to the States in something like 6 hours or so, back to New York. It's pretty straightforward. We'll see how they treat me in New York. I should be fine. So I'm gonna grab a bite to eat in the terminal, sit down somewhere where I can find anything open.
Okay, Dublin. We need to have a conversation with Ireland right now. All of the public information, public articles that were out there about Ireland and the way they were approaching coronavirus were that you had to quarantine for 14 days. Couldn't find anything other than that for essential workers or other requirements. Everyone else was, pretty much everyone else in the world was very clear about nobody was allowed in. And all of the public releases from Ireland were that if you quarantined for 14 days, then you could come in, and that was pretty much it. And so it felt very open and very, to a degree, welcoming. So this was always kind of the potential rendezvous point to catch up with my girlfriend. And so, yeah, coming in this morning was very difficult. It felt very uncomfortable. It felt an awful lot like not being welcome. Really had to talk my way through, as far as just, they were disappointed that I was here to just see my girlfriend, and I can understand. After being down in Dublin, it's shut down, taking this very, very seriously, as they should. But all the articles that were out there, all the information that was out there was very misleading. You don't want to be in a place that's dealing with something in a specific way, and you interpreted them dealing it with it another way, and then you're the asshole. So while I probably certainly underestimated things. I think it could have been communicated internationally better. Assume that there are going to be people like me who love to travel, looking for a place that they can travel to safely and responsibly. Clearly there is no place like that right now. Not even Ireland. So things are softening up around the world, easing. This is just a bit early. I think in 3 more weeks or so, we should get to a point where it's doable. One thing I'll never understand is that cup of water only on a plane. I don't get it. I just find it hard to believe that the plane says we really need you guys to get us a cup of water sealed with tin, because they have bottles, so it doesn't make sense. I think it's safe to say, though, that I was probably the first unofficial tourist back into Dublin since COVID. It's pretty cool. Or pretty stupid. Either way, still cool. Extremely straightforward coming into the US, back into the US. It was just normal customs, actually on the gateway. A couple questions referring to the paperwork that they gave us to fill out, asking basic fever stuff, how do you feel, take your temperature, tell you self-quarantine for 14 days, and then that was it. The customs back in Dublin was actually the proper US customs, and this was just one extra little check. And otherwise, my flight to Pittsburgh on time, it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, so I'm gonna grab one up here and head that way. But we're back, baby. 24-hour turnaround. First tourist to Dublin since Corona. That did not go as planned. But it was an unbelievable experience, and I travel for experiences. The goal was to see my girlfriend, and I miss her to death, but it's been 3 months, and it's gonna be another 3 weeks or so. Until the next trip, I'm gonna go to sleep for a very long time. Good night.